Once upon a time, there was a kind merchant who lived with his 3 daughters. The merchant worked hard to provide for his family. His youngest daughter, named Beauty, was the kindest and most beautiful of them all. She loved to read books and help others. Her sisters, however, were selfish and only cared about clothes and jewels. One day, the merchant lost all his money. A storm destroyed his ships, and he became very poor. The family had to leave their big house and move to a small cottage in the countryside. Beauty adapted quickly to the new life. She cooked, cleaned, and took care of her father. Her sisters, on the other hand, complained all the time. One day, the merchant heard some good news. One of his lost ships had returned to the port. He quickly prepared to travel to the city to claim his goods. Before he left, he asked his daughters what they wanted as gifts. The oldest daughter said, "I want a beautiful dress." The second daughter said, "I want a necklace with diamonds." When the merchant asked Beauty, she smiled and said, "I just want a rose, father. Please bring me a single rose." The merchant promised to bring the gifts and left for the city. But when he arrived, he found that his goods had been stolen. He had no money and no way to buy the gifts. Sad and tired, the merchant decided to return home. On his way back, the merchant got lost in the forest. It was cold and dark, and he was very scared. Suddenly, he saw a bright light in the distance. He followed the light and found a large castle. The door to the castle was open, but no one was inside. The merchant entered the castle. He found a warm fire, delicious food, and a soft bed. He called out, "Hello, is anyone here?" But no one answered. He decided to eat, rest, and leave in the morning. The next day, as the merchant was leaving, he saw a beautiful garden filled with roses. He remembered Beauty's request and picked one rose for her. Suddenly, a loud roar shook the ground. A huge beast appeared in front of him. The beast was angry and said, "How dare you steal from my garden?" The merchant begged for forgiveness. He explained that the rose was for his daughter, Beauty. The beast thought for a moment and said, "I will let you go, but only if you send your daughter to live here in your place. She must come willingly. If she does not, you must return." The merchant agreed, even though his heart was heavy with worry. He took the rose and returned home. When the merchant arrived home, he gave the gifts to his daughters. He told them the story of the beast and the castle. Beauty's sisters were scared and refused to go, but Beauty loved her father very much. She said, "Father, I will go to the beast's castle. Don't worry about me." The next morning, Beauty and her father traveled to the castle. The beast met them at the door. He said to the merchant, "You may leave now." The merchant hugged Beauty and left with tears in his eyes. At first, Beauty was very scared of the beast. He was big, loud, and looked frightening. But as days passed, She saw that he was kind and gentle. He gave her beautiful rooms, delicious food, and many books to read. He never forced her to do anything she didn't want to do. Every evening, the Beast would ask Beauty, "Will you marry me?" And every evening, Beauty would reply, "No, Beast, I am not ready." Even though Beauty refused to marry him, the Beast was patient. He wanted her to be happy. Beauty began to enjoy her time at the castle. She and the Beast talked about many things. She learned that he was very lonely and had no friends. Beauty started to see the goodness in his heart. One day, Beauty saw her father in the magic mirror that the Beast had given her. He looked very sick. Beauty missed her family and wanted to see them. She asked the Beast, "Can I go home to visit my father?" The Beast agreed but said, "You must return in 7 days. If you do not come back, I will die of sadness." Beauty promised to return. The Beast gave her a magic ring. He said, "If you turn this ring on your finger, you will come back to the castle instantly." When Beauty returned home, her father was very happy to see her. Her sisters were surprised. They asked her about the Beast and the castle. Beauty told them about the kind Beast and the wonderful life at the castle. Her sisters became jealous. They made a plan to keep Beauty at home. "Stay longer, Beauty," they said. "Your father needs you. The Beast will not mind." Beauty loved her father and agreed to stay for a few extra days. But soon, she began to feel very sad. She missed the Beast and the castle. On the 7th night, she had a terrible dream. She saw the Beast lying on the ground in the garden. He looked sick and weak. Beauty woke up and cried, "I must go back to him." Beauty turned the magic ring on her finger and returned to the castle. She ran to the garden and found the Beast lying on the ground. He was very weak. "Beast, what happened?" she cried. The Beast opened his eyes and said, "I thought you would not come back. I was so sad that I could not eat or sleep." Beauty felt her heart break. She realized how much she cared for him. "Don't die, Beast," she said. "I love you. I will marry you." As soon as she said those words, a bright light surrounded the Beast. He began to change. His claws turned into hands, and his fur disappeared. The Beast became a handsome prince. Beauty was shocked. "What happened?" she asked. The prince explained, "A witch cast a spell on me a long time ago. She turned me into a beast because I was selfish and unkind. The spell could only be broken by true love. You broke the spell, Beauty. Thank you." The prince and Beauty returned to her family to share the good news. Her father and even her sisters were happy for her. Beauty and the prince got married and lived happily ever after in the castle. From that day on, Beauty and the prince ruled their kingdom with kindness and love. They taught everyone the importance of seeing the goodness in others and never judging by appearances.